largest growing counties in Alabama has one man that can do it all. I don't believe it. We are one of the, if you look at the census, we're one of the fastest growing counties. We have had hundreds of people to move out of Montgomery. We've had hundreds of people to move into this county. And you're telling me that we have one person that can do tournaments. You know, I find that's very sad, because we only have one football coach then in Alabama, because if we only have one baseball, what's going on with these other schools? Are you telling me that there is no one at Edgewood? Are you telling me there's no one at Eclectic? Are you telling me there's no one at Stanhope? Where are you going with that to say we've got to narrow it down to one person to hire? First of all, we've been knowing that there was a ball complex over here for years. And to come down to the last minute for this to happen is poor planning on the city of Wetumpka and whoever's in charge of that area. This should have been brought to this council 6 months ago, so that we had time to advertise and find someone. Because there's no way you're gonna convince me that there is not another person in this county that can do a good job. If that's the case, where are all these athletes coming to that are going to universities from other places, are going to junior college and play? So why has it become an issue that there is only one person in Wetumpka, Alabama, or Elmore County, Alabama, that can do this job? Because I've talked to some people this week that were very determined, and on internet, has been on internet this week, that this job is political, and I'm gonna, Councilman Washington, forgive me, but that it was all of this is because that we're to hire Chris Washington. It was on internet this week that this is why the council turned it down. Well, I'm gonna be frank with you. I didn't know Chris Washington could coach girls until this came up and it was on internet. And I even called Councilman Washington and asked him, was he a coach of females?
Let me interrupt right here.
Sir, I didn't interrupt you.
No, I've got a situation here. I've let this thing get off and chase this rabbit without getting a second on this motion. So for any further discussion to take place, I need a second on this motion in order to open it up for further discussion. Would someone give me a second on this motion where it be further discussion?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Ma'am, go ahead.
So regularly interrupted.
I had to do that.
Sir, we've been doing this a long time, you haven't done that. But anyway, I find it hard to believe that this is the only person that we can get. What is wrong with us advertising? What is wrong with us giving other people an opportunity? And I'd like to see this council come together and realize that we can do that. But this is not an issue that has just come up, so it's not a critical issue. When we already know that the schedule is already pretty much confirmed with ASA, is that correct?
Preliminary, temporary, correct?
Okay.
I mean, it's not set in stone.
Well, nothing's set in stone, but are you here to say tonight that if a person is not chosen tonight and this goes through, that those fall games are gonna be canceled?
That's totally with Mr. Hunt. I don't know that Mr. Hunt, he had a meeting in Birmingham.
He was on his way here in traffic and weather not permitted, he could walk in the door any minute, but.
Well, he told me the truth. He said it didn't have to be canceled. Now, we don't know about that.
And I cannot say he will or he won't.
Right.
I'm not saying he's gonna cancel.
And there are other leagues. There's
All these
different-
people sitting here, I hadn't waited to the last minute, whether I get fired tonight or not. I hadn't waited to the last minute to bring this stuff to council. I started on this in August and September, and I have tried and tried to get in here, and I get banged on every time I get here. And I don't mean to be ugly, and I get very emotional, but I haven't waited to the last minute. I have brought this up and brought this up. The parking situation I brought up in August. I don't feel like I'm the one that's waited to the last minute for something to get brought up. And I know there's a lot more people out here other than one. Numerous coaches, and Chris Washington, good friend of mine. This has nothing to do with coaching girls. You do not have to be able to coach a girl to take this job, to me. It's more of sports-minded that can handle brackets and umpires and stuff like that. It has nothing to do really with if you coach females, if you coach males. Chris could do this job in a heartbeat. We talked about it yesterday, 2 days ago. There are numerous coaches around, and there's even people sitting around here that Mike could do it. But I sit right here in that chair, and I'm not going to deny it. I talked to Randy Stahl about it. I shouldn't even said the name. I hear it ain't been said. I talked to him about it 2 years ago at 3, and told him there may be something available. And when I brought him in and came and approached the city about hiring him, there was a position there, and I thought I was getting people around me to do a good job. That's what I was trying to surround myself with, quality people. Are there more than me? Yes. Probably people sitting in here that can do it. But I did talk to him about it and went on a temporary hire. It wasn't temporary, I apologize. It was part-time position. But I know I've rattled on about your question, but I didn't drag my feet in here with all this. And I apologize if it feels that way, but sometimes it's harder to get on things to get stuff here. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I get pushed back a little bit, and I don't want to air my problems now, but I'm gonna shut up and answer any more questions and not rattle on.
Mayor, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make it very, very plain and clear to everyone in this audience. Hope you can hear me loud and clear. I am Christopher Washington Dale. My son, Christopher Washington, do not want, nor is he interested in filling out the application, nor do he want to be any kind of way involved with this circus that's going on.
And he told me the
Listen,
same thing.
I hope the paper print this correctly, okay? Whoever said that I was trying to get this for my son, you didn't tell the truth. Number one, if the council wanted him for this position, I could not vote for him. Get your facts straight when you hear things. Ask people. Get an understanding. My son, Christopher Washington, do not want anything to do with any of this. He has plenty of other places to go where he's enjoying himself and having a great time.
I agree with that 100%.
I will set the record straight for
Washington.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yes, sir. While everybody's here, I would like to say Councilman Washington and I talk quite often sometimes. He has never mentioned to me about Chris Washington. I don't know where that came from, but it didn't come from Councilman Washington. It didn't come through me. But I made the motion to hire a temporary coordinator, and I did not give the name. And I was asked by the mayor and council to put a name with my motion. And I put the name that I thought was best qualified. I thought he was the best qualified last night. I think he's the best qualified tonight. I think he's the best qualified tomorrow. And that was Randy Stout. That's where we sit tonight.
Okay, any further discussion on this issue?
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If I may. Last season, the city employed a coordinator for the softball tournament, which was very successful. The city council did not authorize that coordinator at that time. So why are we here now? Why is our authorization needed now when it wasn't needed to employ a coordinator last season?